So this wasn't a bad date, this like, weird experiment with this poor girl from traffic school that I had, wrangled over. It wasn't embarrassing date. It was just a hella lot stranger than things that I was used to. And I was only 16. I'd only had my only girlfriend, love of my life by then, if you don't count, all the SA experiences. That was it. So here I am, like experimenting. I hate to put it that way. Does Sean pick up girls like on his own with no wingman of his own accord? Does he like date? What does he do? He's not married yet, so what does he do? So, unlike this is something I'm not necessarily used to at that point, but I'm stumped by this situation. And in kind of like not the greatest way. This is not like me. In these kind of like, masking kind of like personality, whatever situations, I don't get stumped. But this was sort of like a deeper, strangely more, I don't know, like monumental or profound moment that didn't like, you couldn't index it against the other weirdo moments. But as I said, I'm not used to this. Here I am with this girl, that I picked out of traffic school to come over for whatever she thought or whatever I thought I was doing as a date. So we're sitting in my dark bedroom, broad daylight. And we're like literally next to each other, across from each other. And I don't know, like a 10-year-old, am I supposed to hold her hand? Is this a good time to hand hold? Or do I lean in for a kiss? Or do I giggle? Or do I flirt some more? I mean, I'm really like good at flirting, but it's like just like the doctor hits your knee and I can do it. Uh, involuntarily, but I am flying blind, because this is being in this like, do we date? Are we now going to like date girls scenario or whatever? I mean, I'm just like shipwrecked. Um, I didn't know, like, first of all, that it was that it was so much work, at least for me in my brain. I'm used to my first girlfriend, love of my life, my first everything, and she knew me backwards and sideways. So I didn't know. I was like literally a stranger in a strange land with this scenario, with this strange girl. And like I said, I keep telling myself this is not supposed to feel like so much work. This is not supposed to take or feel like it's taking so much effort. Just that didn't like make sense. So I guess like my overall takeaway after that date like fizzled into like nothing, just went flat, like a soda. That these I guess I just like needed to know for my own sake that these changes do not always happen with big dramatic moments like I was accustomed to growing up with. That these major changes in like mindset or whatever, sometimes I'm telling myself are going to happen in like long, quiet silences. You're not always going to like be hit in the face with them like cold water. Anyway, silliness. But anyway, that's my dating conundrum experiment at 16. Thanks for tolerating me as usual. I love you guys. You know that. Take good care of yourself. And until tomorrow, bye.